the University of West Florida. Whether you're a student or not, or even just live in the area, chances are you've heard a thing or two about what goes on at this place. Maybe you've heard about the massive homecoming events that we throw, or the even more massive football games. Or maybe you've heard about the crazy concerts with even crazier guests, or even just the digital billboards that you drive by every day. This school, in one way or another, makes itself heard. But when do we hear from the everyday student? The people unable to attend school events or rallies? The people working hard, too busy to ensure that their voices are adequately heard? I'm Connor Crisco, working with UWF Voyager to seek out just that, the voices of the people. How did I do this, you may ask? Well, it's very simple. In front of the library, I simply just put out a camera and a sign asking just one question. What's one thing you would change about UWF?
The parking. Honestly, the parking kind of sucks. I literally have to walk 10 minutes to get here.
Fix the Wi-Fi.
I would actually want to petition for hammocks.
The worst dining hall known to man.
There's a problem with the traffic lights being on just timers, and there will be arrows and there's no one there. So can we fix that, please?
Better food.
Better
food.
That's a parking situation because parking is so evil, especially coming home from work late at night and there's no parking anywhere near my dorm and I have to travel all the way across campus. Like, we need to fix this situation, guys. Like, please.
Also, the prices for a lot of things, like the parking pass is also ridiculously expensive.
UWF has nowhere near enough emo chicks or goth girls or anything.
Better food.
Yes, better food.
You should have more flowers.
We need more pickleball courts.
Like everything? I don't know.
Can we please put Apple Pay in building 58C? Thank you.
So if we need to if we need to improve the art department or improve the music department to get more of them in here, I'm gonna need that to happen.
One thing that we would change about UWF is we should get sorority and fraternity houses.
Putting more effort and care into the UWF physics department and also ensuring that the parking spaces matches the number of in-person students because there is not enough parking. Also, preferably a better distribution of funds, especially to the sciences and arts.
We need more people in the marine biology department because we don't have a lot of people.
Yeah, and the housing, like taking care of people sucks. Okay, we don't feel protected in our housing.
Something I would change about UWF is providing more housing.
Having some sort of temporary storage facility on or near campus would be a much appreciated help.
I would love to see more integration with international students between having more collaborative events kind of thing, or just more efforts to kind of intermix things a little bit more. Campus being a little bit more accessible. I have a friend of mine who recently has been going through some troubles with disability in terms of getting around campus between some of the ramps and everything on campus being really too steep and really exhausting. Walkways are kind of underpaved and kind of messy. So I think getting that cleaned up, making spaces more accessible would be really good.
Offer more deals to get students more involved in the football games. The student section has maybe 30 people in it every time.
Can we make classes not before 9:30?
UWF should offer more research opportunities for psychology students.
And also more advisors.
Don't force freshmen to get a meal plan. And also make the hours last longer so that on the weekends they don't start at 11, they start earlier.
I wish that there was a dedicated pedestrian path to walk to places on campus, like walking from where this is set up in front of the library to building 4. You're just constantly looking over your shoulder and wondering if you're going to get run over by the trolley or the truck.
Something I would change about UWF is just about nothing, because I love this environment. We have an incredible campus. I was reading a report, right? And we have one of the highest percentages of above standard teachers in ratio sort of stuff when compared to any other college in Florida. So the education here is freaking peak, right? The campus is remarkable, and yet there is a astonishing lack of Argo pride. And that's something that each and every one of us can take a part in fixing, you know?
With all of these responses, it just felt like I was left with more questions. I needed answers, and I needed to find someone more in touch with the student body as a whole. So I decided to interview former student government president Maggie Brown to see if she could shed light on these students' concerns.
Hello everyone, my name is Maggie Brown. I'm the past SGA president. I'm graduating this semester, and within SGA we have a variety of responsibilities, most notably, of course, being the main advocate for students to university administration and local and state government. But we also allocate nearly $4 million of our activity and service fee budget that funds all student activities, including student involvement, homecoming, the gym, the child care center, and all of our student organizations. And we also host our own events and initiatives like the Argo Rally, which is a pep rally for UWF athletics, and Diversity Weeks, which honor our communities on campus.
On the topic of student concerns, a lot of people came up and talked about parking. What would you have to say about parking, and what is SGA doing anything to fix that or to help that out?
I would say, as a fellow student, I also understand the issue of parking as someone who's lived on campus for 4 years now. I've talked to the Director of Parking and Transportation Services, Chip Chisholm, and he's really enlightened me to kind of the history of parking and a lot of the issues that students face. And what he calls it, there's not a lack of parking because we have a lot of parking lots spread out around campus. It's more so a lack of convenient parking. Because everyone wants to park in the commons, and it's understandable that you would want to park close to your classes and everything, but because we are such a commuter-heavy population, a lot of those spots get filled, and it's kind of a timing thing that's worked for me. I just have to plan ahead if I want a close spot. But this year, one of my initiatives was to bring back the trolley tracking app for UWF trolleys, and that's up and running. You can also see all of the other Escambia area transit buses as well and see where they are exactly. And if you just pull up the app, you can see where they are on campus and if you'll be able to make the trolley stops. So I hope that's utilized more in the future, and possibly working to make the trolley stop signs a little more visible, because not only is it can alleviate parking, it's also better for the environment as well.
Any lessons you learned? Or
One of the biggest lessons that I learned in SGA was communication, because I realized that I needed to be better about communicating to the students what was happening on a university level, because I was privy to that information because of my position, but I realized that the university maybe wasn't doing the best job of telling that to the students, which is why I began sending out emails to all the students before all the Board of Trustee meetings, kind of explaining what's on the agenda, and since I'm their student representative, that they could tell me their questions and concerns, and I just wanted to make sure that I was open and available to them if they wanted to talk.
Given the Cannon Green protests and all that, you were very receptive. But for the people who didn't read the email, the Cannon Green protests in question.
Who got the power?
Hundreds of students at UWF are standing in solidarity against the nomination of Dr. Scott Yenner to the school's Board of Trustees. Yenner's made headlines a number of times in recent years, most notably in October 2021, when he criticized women for putting their careers over motherhood and marriage, describing career-oriented women as medicated, meddlesome, and quarrelsome. Shortly after this, Yenner responded through X, saying women focused on the workplace has weakened families.
Things must change if this country is to rebuild the family. While they medicate themselves in their loneliness, we should rebuild a country where men act with responsibility and purpose. We should build a country where young girls are encouraged to be mothers and wives, as well as enjoying fulfilling jobs if they choose.
As someone who was walking to class that day, the commotion could be heard across campus, and all I could wonder was, what's this all about?
I think he's allowed to have his opinion and speak that broadly, but once you're forcing your opinion on others, you are not giving them the ability to express themselves.
Do you think DEI belongs at colleges and universities?
I believe so, yes.
But that's not all. To this date, Scott Yenner and another DeSantis-appointed trustee, Gates Garcia, have formally resigned. Why do you think he resigned now and not earlier?
Because of recent movements in the Pensacola community with Save UWF. I also think the protests at UWF, the highly publicized nature of his past comments, and past alumni speaking out. I think there were a lot of different factors that led to his choice to resign.
This successful student pushback has seemed to ruffle the feathers of the Florida governor and has led DeSantis to make this announcement just a couple of days ago.
We are not tolerating indoctrination camps. I don't want parents to spend 18 years instilling values in their kids and then worry they send them to one of our universities in Florida and it's all going to be undone by Marxist professors. We've also worked hard to bring more conservative professors to campus. So we've now recruited all these great folks at the Hamilton Center, University of Florida, place like New College in Sarasota, and when we get done with it, the University of West Florida. You will see some big changes there, trust me.
If parents have a problem with what is being taught at UWF, they can send their students elsewhere. But enrollment at UWF says otherwise. Godwin says it's been growing as UWF remains ranked in the top 10 public institutions in the southern region.
If you care about how the university is run and governed and you care about the people doing those things, then it's up to the students to continually research and question and hold these people accountable for their actions, just like any other representatives. The fight is never over, even with what people may consider a really good board of trustees. There might be items that they'll pass that the students might not agree with. So you should always be vigilant when it comes to these big decisions that impact the entire university. And my hope is that the tradition of sending out an email to all the students before each board meeting will continue so that we can help the students stay informed.
How can students get involved in the inner workings of the university and university politics to enact change?
I would say first and foremost to contact your student representatives in SGA. They were democratically elected by the student body to represent your voices, and you should always hold them accountable just like you do with your state and federal representatives. The student body president is someone who sits on the actual board and sits in on these meetings and can actually have a voice there. So definitely talking to the student body president. Secondly, you can also publicly comment on our meetings, committee and full board meetings. You just have to fill out something beforehand, and you have to ensure that what you're talking about is something that's relevant to the agenda. I would definitely say those are the two main ways that you can enact change.
Before I go, as I've asked others, I must ask you, what is one thing you would change about University of West Florida?
One thing that at least I would like to see more of is support for our commuter students. I've said before, it's one of our biggest populations, and I feel like they feel the most disconnected from campus compared to the people that live on campus. It's really a shame because they shouldn't miss out on that same college experience, and they need to have different accommodations as well because they're a different type of student. And I know that we have the commuter hub, which is absolutely amazing. I love it because it has lounge chairs, has charging stations. It's a place where commuters can hang out during the day and not just like go to their car and take a nap. And hopefully I would like this to be in the future grand plan when we make these expansions, hopefully to the Commons sometime soon, but making the area bigger so it can accommodate more students, and maybe having like nap pods around campus for them to take naps in so they don't have to go to their car, like I said, because a lot of other universities have more resources like that for the commuters, but UWF just lacks a lot of space and building space, but that's one thing I would change.
Where is this commuters hub?
Yes, so the commuter hub is located in the Commons. If you know where the vending machines in the Commons are, it's directly across from the post office, so it's like this little hallway between the post office and like the breezeway. And you just need to like swipe in if you're a commuter, and then you can just hang out. They also have a microwave and a fridge in there. Right? Like, that's what commuters need.
Huge.
Because they bring their own food. They can't just, like, go to their dorm, and maybe they don't want to go to, like, the Nautilus Market.
Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody watching this?
Well, my term has ended, but it was a pleasure serving you all, and My favorite memories were, of course, talking to the students, because in this position I have access to that more than I did any others, and I feel like I've learned a lot from you all. And in the future, continue to talk to SGA. We love hearing from you. That's literally our job. And I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you so much, Maggie.
Thank you.
It's safe to say that UWF, like any other university, has its fair share of problems. But if there's one thing that I've learned through the making of this video, it's that there are people who care. And there are people who are actively working to fix the problems that we face. And I wish more people knew that. I wish more people knew that they themselves could be the change that they want to see, if they so chose. But I am aware that not everybody has the time or the money to do that. That's why I wish more people knew that through collective change, whether through a student protest or a student government, we can make waves. We can fix problems, simple or systemic. And I wish more people knew that. And if you care, I would absolutely encourage you to make efforts to be more informed, whether it's joining a public Board of Trustees meeting online, whether it's joining a club, talking to people who know what's going on, or whether it's even reading the Voyager, which is a really good way of being informed. It makes a difference. Because the more we know about the problems, places, and people that we care about, the more educated decisions we can make to enact change about it. Because otherwise, what are we doing? And if you've ever considered going out there and doing something, whether it's joining a club, joining a rally, or even just going out and talking to people, I would say absolutely do it. I wouldn't be making this video otherwise. But other than that, I've learned a lot during making this video, and I hope you have too. I'm Connor Crisco with UWF Voyager, and I'm just speaking through the voice of the people. I'll see you next time. So yeah, thanks for making it to the end of the video, and thank you to those who participated and answered my question. I couldn't have done it without you. If you want to see more content related to this story, you can check out the full video interview between me and Maggie here. If you want to see more content about UWF campus and culture, please check out UWF Voyager at uwfvoyager.com. My peers have been writing some really good articles, some really good stuff there. You can't miss it. Please go check it out. If you want to see more of my stuff, my YouTube channel is right here, and if you want to write to me, my email is also right here. Other than that, special thanks to my teachers for letting me keep their equipment for this long, special thanks to Maggie for letting me interview her 2 times, and special thanks to my friends, peers, and girlfriend for supporting me. Other than that though, thank you again for watching, and maybe you'll see me again. Who knows? See ya. Now, I should add, for transparency's sake, that the hard drive containing the footage of about half of the student answers was unfortunately stolen. So, to all the students who won't be seeing themselves, I am deeply sorry about this, and your voices were still heard, and they still affected the final product of this video. And to the person who stole my footage, if you were trying to stop me, try harder next time.
Go Argos!